Is everybody ready? Can you hear me well? Here we go. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindy. I am at Simply Cindy. I am a psychic medium. I have lots of tools in my basket. Astrology is something that I love. So, thank you so much, guys, for joining all the way through Monday through Friday. Today is Friday, TGIF. We've got a couple things to go through over, but I did want to talk about Uranus tonight. And hopefully, Uranus will let us talk about him because that's Uranus, always changing stuff. So, I hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Chance. Hi, Polly. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Ellen. Hi, Athena. Hi, Rodney. Thank you guys for coming. I hope everybody's having a great day. It is Friday, and we're going to be having a really nice weekend. Hopefully, after speaking about Uranus, it'll be a little bit better, a little bit easier to sort of see how what's going on in the world. Now, twice already, I've said this on a live that I have been asked to do the Vegas nerve reset to teach you how to do that. And I was going to do the lymphatic system, teach you guys how to do lymphatic drainage very quickly, right? So, but I keep forgetting to do it. So I am going to do that now. And so that I don't forget, I'm going to do both. And that way, you guys can come back to this particular live. I may cut it down. Yeah, I may do an intro real quick while y'all are here and then cut it down. And just put it as a separate video so you guys can come back to it. Because I know Wendy's the one that asked me, and she's wanting somebody else to look at it, but she couldn't find it. So I know I've done this a couple of times, but let's do this again. It's always a good thing to do. Oh, good, Cindy, you're baking. That's awesome. It is baking time. Ellen says, "Hi guys, just messaged you. Cindy was on. You messaged me, or did you just tell everybody? You messaged everybody. Okay, maybe that's what you were saying. Okay, so let me do Thanksgiving here weekend. That's right. Happy Thanksgiving to the Canadians. I meant to say that too. I have that in my list today. Yay! Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Ours is coming up, but you guys are always so kind and help us celebrate ours. So I want to say Happy Thanksgiving to you too. So yeah, I remembered that it was. Yeah. Saw it. Thanks, Ellen. Sorry, I messaged Polly and oh, okay. We do that. We don't miss you. Oh, you're sweet, Ellen. Yeah, I had the pleasure of speaking with Polly and Chance today. They are a lovely couple, very smart, very wise. Yeah, what can I say? They're in the right place. Very smart, very wise. Very old souls, right? Old souls. And a lot of people think old souls are like this omnipresent sort of that's not an old soul. An old soul to me almost reminds me of when a Buddha when what's his name? Oh, God, I can't even think of his name. I have a headache and I think it's because of the weather change. And I eat honey when I come into a new area, but I don't think my resistance is built up yet. Because again, I've only been here so many months and I haven't had a problem with allergies, but I think that's what this is. Anyway, so back to being an old soul is understanding all of this that's going on, having done it many, many, many times, and yet still having a childlike way about them, an excited way about them. And that's how I can tell when you're an old soul. It's not because you know things, it's because you know things and you still laugh and you still have a huge heart and you still that's an old soul to me. So that just reminded me of both Chance and Polly. So, thank you, Cindy. We enjoyed chatting with you too. Yeah. So, they're building. They didn't explain everything to me, but they're kind of hearing the call too, and but they heard the call a long time ago. And so we're gonna have to support them in Texas too. I'd like for you guys to give them some great energy so that they meet the people and find the way to do what it is that they want to do. That's their dream. That's all of us right now, right? So, yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's do the vagus nerve. I'm going to do an intro real quick because I'm going to put this as part of the vagus nerve. So, uh, here we go. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Cindy. I am at Simply Cindy. I am a psychic medium. I have lots of tools in my basket. One of those are the two things that I'm going to do for you guys. The first one we're going to do is resetting the vagus nerve. That helps you in the time when you're tense, have a lot of anxiety, or kind of just not feeling off or are feeling off. The vagus nerve is really good to reset. So, the way we're going to do this is I'd like for you guys to take a deep breath, sit up, and I have my shoulders up. Sit up, and then I'd like for you to look to your right and take notice at how far your chin is going to your shoulder, and then just go forward, and then to your left. See how far it goes. Go forward. Then I'd like for you to grasp your hands. Everybody's doing this. What you want to do is put it behind where it's the base of your skull, basically. So it's where the skull and the neck meet, right? That little divot back there. So just relax. Then I'd like for you to turn your eyes all the way as far as you can, not your face, don't move your neck, don't move your head, just your eyes. And you should get a yawning sensation. Ooh, excuse me. Sometimes it's a big one. Sometimes it takes a minute. And that's when you know you've released. Okay. Then I'd like for you guys to look to your left. Same thing. Sometimes one takes longer than the other. It kind of depends. It's our nervous system. But when you get that, some of you won't get a yawning sensation, but you will get sort of maybe a breath. Okay, so don't be hard on yourself if you don't get it. Boop. Then I want you to release. Then I'd like for you to look again and see how far your neck goes. And it should go further. It also releases the tension. Another thing I like to do if you don't have time to do this, or if there's a lot of people and you don't want to do it, when you're feeling anxious, put the tip of your tongue between your gum and your front teeth. So on the inside, that little, I don't know, that little ball, that little, I don't know, that little bump that you have in the front. If you squeeze that when you're feeling nervous, when you're feeling anxious, when you're just feeling off, you can do that several times a day. That will help. And also this little acupuncture. So where this goes down, there's a little, it just feels like cartilage, but there's like a little dent in there. If you can press that point really, really hard, and it should hurt, it should be sore there. That's another way to release some tension. Yeah, see, I just did it and then my neck cracked. So try those. That'll help. Now, we have a lymphatic system. I won't explain the vagus nerve. I'm not going to explain the lymphatic system. I just kind of want to give you these things to do. We'll talk about those things at some other time when I do an actual whole video about them. But for right now, our lymphatic system doesn't have a way to move itself. We have to kind of move it, right? So it's different things that we do. Movement, we're moving around, we're exercising, we're whatever, right? your lymphatic system. So I do a thing that just does the upper part and it sort of gets everything flowing. There are other ways to do lymphatic system drainage, but this, because we have so many problems with allergies, with, things that kind of stick up here, right? So this is one that I like to do. We're going to start, and I want you to use these two fingers. So these two fingers, because if you use these two fingers, it's too rough. And this is a lymphatic system. You just want to sort of massage it, right? You don't want to put too much pressure. You're going to want to put pressure in some areas because it's going to feel better when you do, but you don't need to put that much pressure. It'll just start, okay? So we're going to put those two, and we're just going to lightly sort of move it. You're going to push and sort of move. Push, but do little strokes. Little strokes, okay? We're just moving, and we're going to do this lymphatic, okay? Just moving, and it feels good. Like right now that I have that headache, it feels good. And I want to do it hard, but it's not necessary to do it hard, right? So what you want to do is, I usually do about 10 of these. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And then you want to take these two and you want to push. So hold, push around your brow. Hold. You're going to kind of bring it out, push around, right? Push it through here. Hold. You're going to do about 25 of those. So it's about 6, 7, 8, and it'll start feeling really good. 9, and you'll start breathing well too. 10, 11, and I specifically did not do this. I wanted to do it because I had the headache, but I was like, if I do it, I'm going to forget to do this. 12, I'm going to forget to do it on camera. 13, 14, 15, take that in. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Can your sinuses should start opening up. 23, 24, 25. Okay. Then we're going to take these two and we're going to do Spock. Okay. Or if you're old enough, you're going to know Nanu Nanu. You know what that is? You know Nanu Nanu? Let me know if you know Nanu Nanu. If not, it's Spock, okay? We're going to do Spock. We're going to put the front two, or these back two, in the front of your ear, and then these other two behind it, okay? So we're going to do that. Mom Otto says, yes, I know Nanu Nanu. Okay. Then we're going to push down. Not a lot. You're going to want to do a lot of pressure, but not a lot. Okay. You're going to push kind of towards here. 2. Yep. More Mindy. You got it. 3. We're going to do 25 of those. 4. And you're going to start up here. I have little ears. So you're going to start up here. And then you're going to go down. 6, 7, and you're putting light pressure. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you'll start feeling it. 13, 14, it's starting to drain. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I think this feels so good. 24, 25. Okay. Now we're going to take this right here. Can you see that? Like where you have the indents? And I want you to come down. 1, right down to your collarbone. 2, 3, and again 4. You're using these 2 fingers, okay? 5, 6, and really feel that you can envision it. I like to envision like it's just all my stuff draining and flowing. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Sometimes I do it like because I can feel it right here. 19, 20, 21, 22. You're going to want to press hard. Don't press hard. 23, 24, 25. And then the last one, your collarbone, and then where it splits right here, where that little collar on the collarbone, the little collar on the collarbone. I want you to take the bone right where it starts, like, well, I've gained some weight, so you can't see it, but where the bone, like starts, right? And I want you to just use all the fingers, and I want you to press, and just like you did up here, and you were kind of pushing and kind of swinging it this way or making it go like this, I want you to do that with the collarbone, okay? So we're going to do 25. 1, 2, and you can, I always like just move my fingers. 3, as I'm, what is the word? Swiping. 4, so I'm kind of doing both. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like I can kind of feel that I need a little bit more over here. 13. I've been doing this a long time though. 14. You may not be able to feel that. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. And 25. And there you go. There's your lymphatic drainage, right? You should feel better. It should open up. It should begin to open up if it hasn't already. Some of you probably have never done this before, but it does help drain and helps move things through your lymphatic system, right? And that's where we have a lot of our toxic stuff, or things that come in that are toxic, right? Not just emotional, but I'm talking about actual toxic things in the air, right? So I hope that helps. That's specifically for Wendy because she kept asking me, and for 3 lives already, I keep forgetting to do it for her. So I am going to cut that part down and then just put it in a little video for you guys, okay? For everyone to be able to watch whenever. So let me know how you're doing. How does it feel? How did that feel? You're welcome, Kathy. You are so welcome. Good. Good. Yeah, I'm glad. Like, this is stuff, you know what? I don't even want to get into it. I don't even want to get into the fact that you have to pay so much money for insurance and they can't even teach you those little things, like your GP should be saying, hey, let's try this. Let's help you with that. Let's get this. There's little things. There's just little things, right? So, vagus nerve, lymphatic system. I wrote things down so that I wouldn't forget. Um, oh, I want to talk about the group consciousness. I mentioned this to um, Polly and Chance this afternoon. Makes me want to massage. I work for a massage therapist, and he did lymphatic drainage or drainage. He used me as a body for training somewhere. I got paid to get massaged. It was a great job. Yeah, that sounds like a great job. I know. I know that feeling. You get some of the perks uh, is that you get massages, and like I used to say, um I can't think of the word, acupuncture, the acupuncture that I used to get all the time. Okay, so I was so excited because so we had the hurricane path. We did our part, and not only, and I wasn't attached to the result. And I asked you guys not to be attached to the result. Just know that you did what you did and then let it play out, right? I told everybody once we did the exercise, let's just move on, right? That's why I didn't talk about it too much, because that's a big part of if you're going to consciously manifest and if you're doing the weather, especially if you're doing the weather, like just let it go. Don't think about it. You did it. It's done. And then you can watch it play out. That's fine. But don't attach yourself to the result or the ending. And we saw uh I'm not as excited at this part as maybe you guys would be because I already knew we could do it. So it went from a category 5. They didn't even know what past category 5 was going to be because it just kept getting stronger and stronger, right? And it ended up landing as a category 3, which was way less. I'm not taking anything away from the devastation, right? The things that they have to go through, that Florida has had to go through, right? This is their second hurricane in how many weeks? Like that, it's a lot, right? But not to take anything away from that. But what I'm saying is, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. It was a category 5. It went down to category 3. Now, that's exciting in itself to most people. I already knew we could do it, so y'all may be excited about it. I just kind of knew we were going to do it. But here's the thing, what excites me is that other groups were doing the same thing. Now, this really excites me because this is what I'm talking about. I can finally show you guys a little bit of what I'm talking about when I say we're going into Aquarian energy, okay? You had people from different races, different backgrounds, different religions, different beliefs, and we all came together as one consciousness and did this. I was seeing everywhere where groups were doing the exact same thing that we were doing. They were doing it in different ways. Some were praying, some were meditating, some were doing a ritual, some were whatever. We all did it together, coming from different places, together, united, even though we believe different things. Do you understand the power in that? Do you understand what I'm talking about when I say Aquarius energy is going to teach us how to unite in groups and keep our anonymity as well? Does that make sense to everybody? That's what excited me. That because I know we can do this as humans. I know humanity can get together, even though we have different belief systems, even though we have different DNA, even though we have different lineage, even though we have different religions. We can come together and be in one like frequency together. Does that make sense? That's what excites me. That's where we're going, and we're already doing it, right? We're already doing it. We are showing Pluto in Capricorn. This is a system we want to work on. This is a system we want to move forward with. This is one of those things that we want to build upon in Aquarius. Does that make sense to everybody? I thought that was awesome. I just thought that was awesome. And so, in honor of that, so that we can continue, we won't always meditate, but I do want us to maybe every other day. It kind of depends. I'm still kind of coming up with the fact that we could group, and whether you call it meditation, whether you call it whatever you want to call it, prayer, whatever you want to call it, where we just all get together when we get together on these lives and just come to that same space, right? So we ground ourselves, and I'll guide you guys. We ground ourselves and we just send love to ourselves and we send love to the group. Now, I have done this meditation that I'm talking about where we start with ourselves and we send love wider and wider and wider and wider and wider. And you can feel the difference. It'll feel really expanded once we get to the outer realms. Yeah, social action. Absolutely. Hi, Carrie. How are you? Yes, indeed. I loved it. I'm excited for it. I love it. So, I wanted to mention that, and that's probably what we're going to be doing, not every time, but once or twice a week where when we gather, just to sort of put our intention and our vibration, right, in the world, right? So I'm excited about that. Hey, Susan, how are you? Did I answer your, I think I answered your comment. I couldn't remember if I did or not. I think I did. Um, so yeah, let me know how you guys feel about that before I move on to Uranus. Let me know your thoughts. Yeah. Mom Otto says, love it. And of course, Carrie says social action. Polly said, yes, indeed. Yeah. Power to the people. Power of the people. That's like a 70s saying, power to the people. Oh, that's funny. Standing with you. Yeah, absolutely. Like this is my work anyway. I can work with anybody no matter what their belief system is, right? So, bye, Rodney. Thanks for coming. So, mm, yeah, I think we're ready to talk about Uranus. Okay, so Uranus is in Taurus. Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018, right? So in 2018, we all did videos about how Taurus and Uranus was going to act, what was going to be going on. We only had glimpses. We could see it was going to go forward, then it was going to go retrograde, then it was going to go forward, then it was going to go retrograde, right? We are at the ending of the retrogrades, right? So Uranus in Taurus in 2018, I'd said this, y'all are going to see a big thing about food. You're going to see a big thing about agriculture. You're going to see a big thing about plants. You're going to see a big thing about money and how we make it. You're going to see a big thing about your self-worth, about relationships, about the body ourselves and how to take care of it, about the need to survive, and about tradition. That's all Taurus. Okay, those are all Taurus themes. Now, Uranus, the planet Uranus, or as some people call it, Uranus, Uranus is about the future, innovation, freedom, liberation, revolution, originality, the future, electrical impulses. That's all Uranian energy, right? So when I said Uranus was going to go into Taurus, I said we could be dealing with some like emotional destabilization because Taurus is about being stable, about being comfortable, right? Taurus does not like discomfort. Taurus does not like instability. And here goes a planet going into Taurus where there's instability. I mean, my chart is ruled by Uranus. Okay, so my life can flip on a dime, right? You guys have seen it do it. Like all of a sudden, just one day, bam! I gotta go. I gotta do something. I gotta blah 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 blah. And it's calmed down a lot because I've learned to work with the Uranian energy. Right, it's been there all my life. So Uranus will do sudden changes. Uranus wants to give you, like I said, Jupiter is trying to help you find your wisdom, right? And so it will teach you that. It will show you that. Pluto is trying to help you find your power. Pluto is trying to help you find a lot of things, but your power, right? And for you to step in it, in your power, and for you to release these traumas. That's Pluto. So it does things to like help you do that. Uranus wants you to find your freedom. Uranus doesn't want you stuck. So Uranus is going to do things to help that happen. And if that means switching your world upside down, then that's what that means. So he can, sometimes you think it's a Pluto thing, but it's a Uranian thing. Okay. So it's sudden changes. It's science. It's the future. He wants you to see the future, and he wants to liberate you. He wants you to have the freedom. He wants you to feel the freedom, right? So what happens when he goes retrograde? Because like I told you, not every planet acts the same when they go retrograde. He went retrograde in September 1st at 27 degrees and 15 minutes, right? So if any of you have a planet in Taurus at 27 degrees and 15 minutes, so I would say from 29 degrees to 21 degrees and 15 minutes, okay? If you have a planet at any of those degrees in Taurus, you are being affected heavily. How that is, it depends on the planet that's there and who it's talking to while it's there, as well as Uranus. Okay, does that make sense? That's why astrologers do what they do, right? I can tell you this stuff, but unless you're used to reading charts, you probably won't understand. So it is going to be retrograde. We have seen it since September 1st, retrograde at 27 degrees and 15 minutes. It's going to go back all the way to 23 degrees and 15 minutes. Okay. And that is January 30th, 2025. So we are dealing with Uranus retrograde until January 30th, 2025. Right. Now, what happens when he goes retrograde? Well, he's already shown us these instabilities. He's already shown us these, the way to be free. Remember I said with Jupiter too, they've shown us our path. They've given us some luck, right? So, but when it goes retrograde, he's asking you to look over these things. And when Uranus goes retrograde, it will cause you to be skeptical. It'll cause you to like want to do something and have some restraint about not doing something if that's going to cause instability. So you'll have this fight within you. I want to do it. I want to do it, but I don't know if I can do it. I don't want the instability. It's much safer over here than to try to leave, right? You can also have the feeling of not fitting in or not conforming. Like you don't want to conform. You see that in society. We're not conforming, right? That's all with the help of, it's not the main thing, but it's the help of Uranus retrograde. It's having us look at those things again. And it's having us say whether we want to conform or not. We don't, when it's retrograde, you tend to not want to conform, right? You have because you want the feeling of freedom. You want that independence, right? You want the transformation, right? And so whatever that's going to be, that's going to be. But then you have that restraint of, yeah, I really see that that's the way to go, and it's gung ho, and yeah, I'm not alone in this, but that's going to cause me to come out of my safe zone. And because it's in Taurus, we want to be comfortable, right? And so you're going to have that push and pull. Does all that make sense to everybody? So you'll want to do it, but you'll have the fear of not doing it, right? Uh, you're going to have here's the thing too, is by this time, some of y'all are really tired because you've just been going, 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 because Uranus is electricity, right? And Taurus is the body. Well, what happens when you electrocute the body? You get a reaction, right? So think about it that way. So you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of inner energy, right? And so when Uranus goes retrograde, it's just a lot of inner energy that you're having to deal with. Your mind is going, your emotions are going, everything's going, 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 right? And you have to learn to like work with that, right? There's the inner work that we say, and that's why we do the meditation. That's why we ground ourselves. That's why we have the energy run through. Does all that make sense? So, right now, everybody's battling. I want to be stable. I know that that's probably going to get me stable because Jupiter came and showed me that. But I'm kind of doing really well here, and I don't know if I'm ready to move yet. But I know I should because I know that that's where it's going to make me stable. That's where my comfort is. But I'm a little comfortable here. But I know I should be doing it there because that's going to like make it always comfortable. This is just a temporary comfort. And you kind of know this, but there's this battle going on between you, right? Yikes, Venus is 28 degrees in Taurus. Well, the great thing is that Venus rules Taurus, right? So, this is probably, wow, Susan, that's a lot to do with your comfort. Your comfort, the beauty, the luxury, yeah, all of that. Relationships, all of that, right? So, we're seeing the food, we're seeing the plants, we're seeing the hurricanes, we're seeing, you think about Taurus being earth, Uranus being electricity, coming and moving the earth. What is that? Right? That's eruptions, that's tsunamis, that's hurricanes, that's storms, that's all of that, right? And it's showing us. It's showing us because this is the time where we're rethinking, redoing, readjusting for what? For the freedom to have the stability, the luxury, the comfort, the way that we want to make the money, because money is a part of the life right now. It is changing, but it hasn't changed yet, right? So, how do we make the money? What are we that could be coming up too? I've been shown how I could make the money. Am I ready to put in the work to make the money? This is one thing I know about Taurus. They are not afraid of work. Taurus will work. They will work like I don't know any Taurus that doesn't have 2 or 3 jobs. I really don't. Honestly, the only one I think I know is not even alive. That was my mother. Like, that's the only Taurus I know that doesn't have a second, third job. And it's not like they need it. They just are. They work. They will get their self to a comfortable place. Period. The end. Just how they are. So that is something that you guys may be looking at. That may be coming up for you, right? So, let's look at this chart because Uranus is really, really important right now. I know I talk a lot about Pluto, and he's important. We're never going to say he ain't important because you know how he is. He's like, oh, you don't want to pay attention to me? Okay, here you go. So we're looking at you, Pluto. We're looking at you. But I'm looking at the chart and I'm like, wow, Uranus is talking to everybody here. He's talking to everybody here. Okay. So here's Uranus, right? And he's retrograde. So rethink, redo, all the re's, reassess, revise, all the re's, right? And look what he's doing. Let's look at Mercury. So we're going to start with Mercury. Okay. I got my notes here so I don't forget which one. Because y'all saw the last time I didn't write in notes. I forgot where it was at. So here's Mercury. He's definitely talking to Mercury, right? and he is in conjunct or quincunx. Okay, he's quincunx Mercury. Mercury wants to process. Mercury wants to help you process. Mercury wants to help you communicate to the world, communicate to yourself, process what's going on, right? He's quincunxing. So he's talking, Uranus is talking to Mercury, and these are two planets that have, or two signs that have nothing in common, right? That's what a quincunx is. They have nothing in common, but they have to work together because there's a lot of energy flowing there, right? So something's trying to come about with this processing, with this communication, okay? We can get clues because Mercury is in Libra, right? And Uranus is in Taurus, but Mercury's in Libra. So Mercury being in Libra right now is like being diplomatic, seeing both sides, trying to even it out, having to deal with relationships, right? How are we going to do this? What do we want? Why is this system not doing what they're supposed to be doing? How are we going to balance that? What are we going to do about this, right? That's just one thing that he's talking to, one planet that he's talking to. Then he's talking to Lilith as well. And Uranus has a sesquiquadrant, and you guys know we've already talked about sesquiquadrants and what they are, right? So, what is this sesquiquadrant with Lilith? Lilith, does not play nice with people. She don't like to be told what to do, but Uranus is like, hell yeah, I want to give you your freedom. And she's like, hell yeah, I want my freedom, right? But she has to play by Libra's rules. And so Uranus is talking to Lilith. Uranus is talking to Mercury, right? Lilith, Mercury. There is some way that we can do this that will satisfy Lilith and satisfy Uranus to be able to get your freedom, to be able to have your freedom around you. It's just about processing this. Maybe saying something finally that you hadn't. Maybe listening to something finally that you hadn't, right? Maybe finally getting angry enough to do something about this way to get your freedom. Is all this making sense? Hi, Kathy. So that's the other one. Okay, so we got a quincunx 2, Mercury. We've got a sesquiquadrant to Lilith. We have an opposition to Venus, right? So Uranus wants to give you the freedom. Venus in Scorpio is like, you have got to put the boundaries down. You've got to not let people go over your boundaries. And you've also got to respect other people's boundaries. And you really have to dig deep for the way that you want your life to be stable, to have freedom, to have luxury. Are you worth it, Taurus? Are you worthy? Because Venus is Taurus's ruler, right? But it's got to play by Scorpio's rules. And Scorpio wants to go deep and be the rising phoenix. They want to come out with the answer, but you got to go deep. You got to ask yourself those questions. Is this life all about fight and strife and awfulness and barely getting what we want and barely surviving? Or is it that maybe this life is about that, but also at this time of our life, it's time for the stability. It's time to bring in new ways. It's time to have abundance. It's time to have stability. Many people have not had a lot of stability in the last 4, 5, 8 years, 10 years, right? Maybe it's time to have stability. These are the questions. Have you let people cross your boundaries? Have you been crossing people's boundaries? This is all Venus in Scorpio, right? But why? Because they want to give you your freedom. Uranus wants to give you the freedom. Is there really a shortage of food? Is there really a shortage of kind people? Is there really a shortage of land? Is there really a shortage of, I mean, that's all us seeing that in the retrograde, us dealing with that since 2018. And now we're seeing the truth of things. But are we going to ignore it? Are we going to go back to what we've always done? Or are we really headed in the direction that we think we're headed? But for that, we are going to have to take some action. We are going to have to stand up for ourselves. That makes sense? Now, today, Uranus is trining the moon, and Uranus is also trining Pluto. Okay? Now, you know, trines are a gift. You don't have to do anything. They're just there. They'll fall in your lap. It's a trine. Okay? So, emotionally, or the way that you see things, Mercury is about processing these things that you see, but the moon is about you seeing it the way that you see it, your own unique perspective. Okay? What am I looking at here? That's what the moon and Uranus. The moon in Capricorn. Where is the stability? What type of stability do I want? What type of abundance? What type of luxury? What type of food? What type of land? What type of relationships? What type of money do I want to get? Right? That's all Capricorn, Taurus. It's a trine. Right? You're seeing it. Have you dealt with these last 16 years with Pluto? Pluto at this point is rewarding for those traumas that you've gotten through, for the understanding and stepping into your power. Okay, Uranus is like, are you free? You're free, right? You're free. In this part, with this thing that you have held in your DNA or in your other lives, or the psychological bullshit that you finally let go of, I'm here to give you a gift. That makes sense? So that's what's going on with Pluto and the moon, which is something that you feel. It could be an awakening of some sort. It could be an epiphany. Oh my God, why didn't I see that? Oh my God, why am I doing it that way? Oh my God, I'm making it so much harder for myself. Oh my God, I love my life now. Did I actually do this? Wow. Like there's an epiphany there. There's like this awakening there. Okay? Now remember, Pluto is a slow moving planet, and so is Uranus. So that doesn't mean just on today that this is happening. These are outer planets. These are going to be for a minute, okay? Mercury moves a little bit faster. Mercury moves faster. Sorry, Venus moves a little bit faster. Lilith moves slow. Like these are all slow. This isn't just a one-day thing. This is what's going on with the retrograde. And again, till January 30th of 2025. Okay? I'm just sort of giving you some of the conversations that they're having. They've been having this conversation for a couple of weeks, a month, some of them. Okay? They're going to continue to have that, right? Then there's a sextile between Uranus. It's like Uranus is standing up and he's like, hey, you. Have they stood for their boundaries? Hey, you, Mercury, have they processed and understood? Hey, you, Venus, have they gone deep enough and understood and really come out with their truth, right? All of this is going on. This is what Uranus is saying. And Uranus and Pluto and Saturn and Neptune are retrograde. So these are all redos, revise, right? So these aren't revisions, but this is revised. This planet, Uranus, is like, take a look again. Let's make sure. Because when I go direct, it's going to be a different thing, right? Let's make sure. Let's revise. Do you want to pivot? I'm giving that. For those of you that say that the planets are against you, this is Uranus saying, I'm giving you another shot. Which way do you want it to go? right? So it's sextiling Neptune. Here's your creativity. Here's your manifestation. Even if you had Saturn right next to here, like let's just pretend Saturn was at 26 degrees, right? If it was sextile Uranus, you can still manifest out of nowhere because that's Uranus. The one thing about Uranus is whatever you think it is, it's something completely different. That's just Uranus. Uranus always wants to make it shock and awe. Uranus loves to throw you off. Uranus loves to put a wrench in it to make that freedom come through. And if whatever he's got to do, he's going to do. Okay? So, with this sextile with Neptune, all you have to do is take an action. A sextile is a gift that comes to you, but you need to put some energy into it. That energy of action doesn't necessarily mean I got to go do something. It could just mean I have to put my focus on it. That's energy. That's an action. That's an intention. That's the same thing, right? So there is something that Neptune retrograde. Let's look at this again. Let's revise. Let's make sure. What do we believe? What am I seeing? Let's make sure. And then let's focus on it. Let's intend. And there's a gift here. You just have to take an action. Okay? Uranus is saying all of this to all of these planets. Okay? And then it is, where I just said it's sextile, it's quintile Saturn. Okay? It's talking to like all these planets. It's quintile Saturn. A quintile is a hidden talent. Something that you have within you that's hidden, that isn't really shown, that you don't even probably think it's a talent. But what will it do? This particular talent with Saturn is telling me my belief system and my understanding is going to make this freedom and stability. How do I do it? I don't know. There's something within me. It could be something that you're already doing or that you're thinking of doing, and then you have to take the action for it, and Neptune helps bring it to you for stability, for the food, for the land, for the agriculture, for the money, for the way that you make your money. All that makes sense? So he is talking to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planets. He's talking to all of them. He's not talking to Chiron, but he's talking to all of them, right? He's actually talking to Chiron, but I'm not going to do that aspect. But he's talking to all of them. Mars is the only one that Mars is the only one that isn't like a definite whatever, but he's talking to all of them. And he's saying, this is the way to have it done. And I'm just checking in with y'all because I'm about to blow up some stuff like he's been doing with the hurricanes, with what we're seeing in the government, with what we're seeing in these healthcare and the school systems and all of this, right? This is a whole story. When I come to you guys and I'm talking about 1 or 2 or 3 aspects, that's only part of the story. There's a bigger whole story, but that would take hours for me to do, right? So we're kind of adding on to the story as we go along. Does all that make sense to everybody? Make sure that I've said everything. So, one more thing before you guys can talk or have any questions. During this retrograde until, and this is excluding if you have planned, so this is until January 30th. Okay. Again, energy doesn't stop and start, so it doesn't mean right on the 30th it stops. That's not the way it works. Okay. So, if you are with Uranus, if you are in Taurus, and so if you guys in Taurus have anything between 21 degrees and 15 minutes and 29 degrees and 15 minutes, you are really going to be affected. Okay? I mean, Uranus is going to be straight in your face. Okay? Because it's in your sign. And it's been in your sign, but this is a retrograde. Okay. So it's this battle of I got to do it, but I don't want to do it, but I got to do it, but I should do it, but I want to do it, but it's going to make me uncomfortable and I don't know if I'll do it. Right. Now, if Aries, where's Aries? And Gemini, if you're Aries and Gemini, if you're an Aries or you're a Gemini, ascending, okay? This is a semi-sextile, right? So that means Uranus is semi-sextile, right? What's a sextile? A sextile, I told you, is like you have to do an action to get this thing, to get this opportunity to go forward, right? A semi-sextile is not as overt as a sextile. It's like the subtle energy. You know how you guys get this feeling of, I should probably do this, or I have a feeling I should do this. That's a semi-sextile. And when you do it, it gives you the opportunity. It's not in your face and you know exactly what to do. It's just this feeling that you have that you should do this or something, right? So, Aries, Gemini, you may be feeling that way. You may be getting these spots where you're like, yeah, I should probably do this. I don't even know what this is, right? Now, if you're a Cancer or Pisces, then it's a sextile, right? So, and we already talked about how Neptune is right there and Saturn is right there, right? So that whole house is sextiling this whole house. This whole house is sextiling this whole house, which means listen to your intuition. You kind of already know where the freedom's going to get you, or that you can have the freedom, that you can have the stability. You just have to take that action. Okay? Leo and Aquarius, it is squaring you. Okay? So here's Leo, here's Aquarius. Uranus is squaring your house. So Taurus house squaring your house. Okay? That means it's a little tougher. One wants to do it one way. Taurus is like, these are all fixed. Aquarius is fixed. Taurus is fixed. Leo's fixed. Leo's like, no, I know exactly how to do it. I've done this before. I'm not going to mess it up. Taurus is like, no, we got to do it this way. And Aquarius is like, no, I'm the smarter one. We've got to do it this way, right? That's that energy. But what needs to happen is you need to work together. Taurus and Leo need to work together. That means Taurus needs to take a book from Leo's bravery and just do it. And Leo needs to take a book from Taurus's stability and not move so fast and think about it and maybe plan a little, right? Same thing with Aquarius. Get out of your head. Get to moving. You're not always right. You do know better, but you don't know everything. That makes sense? Tina says chance kids. Okay. Now, Capricorn, Virgo. Virgo, Capricorn, right? Virgo, Capricorn. That's a trine. That's because that's your sister. That's your sign. Y'all are all Earth, right? So there's your trine. So you have gifts coming when you act that way to make yourself stable. Capricorns know how to make themselves stable. Virgos know how to make themselves stable. Taurians know how to make themselves stable. What you're working on is your freedom. I want to be able to do the things that I want to do, but I understand that I have to work with people in the relationships that I have. Capricorn, but you've already been through this Pluto, so you should be pretty clear about how to do this. Virgo, you're being a little bit stubborn because you are smart and you are wise, but you can see it. It's a it's a trine. So you're going to get gifts. It may not be the gift you think. You may not feel it in that way sometimes. You may think, well, I only got that gift because everything else messed up. You may think of it that way. When really that gift is going to become bigger than you even know. You just got to give it a chance, right? So, Scorpio, it is opposing you, right? Scorpio, it's opposing you. So, you want to work together, but you can't hear what you're saying. Scorpio's like, I know how to be stable. I know what I want in life. And Taurus, Uranus is like, are you sure about that? Are you sure? Are you sure? I know you go deep, but did you tell yourself the truth? Not everybody else, but did you tell yourself the truth? And did you really separate the part of you're doing it for you because that's what you really want, or you're doing it because that's what you were told that that's what you really want, right? And then Sag and Libra, Sag, Libra, it's quincunx. And we already talked about what quincunxes are, right? So Uranus is quincunxing you. And what is quincunx? Can somebody tell me what a quincunx is? Let's see if you're paying attention. Does anybody know what a quincunx is? Anybody? Anybody? Are you paying attention? And no Googling. A quincunx is, they don't have anything in common, but they must work together to solve this problem, right? Exactly. But they must work together because there's a lot of energy flow there. They're meant to work together to solve the problem. Five-way, five-way conjunction. I guess that's another way to put it. Yeah. But these two energies must work together because the energy flow is perfect for them to work together. That's just the way it's supposed to be. That's the way you wanted it to be. To solve whatever this problem is, to make you free, to make you stable, to make you earn the money that you want, right? To have the food that you want, to have the luxuries that you want, to have the worth that you deserve, right? So, who am I missing? Nope, and I said Taurus. Okay, so that's Uranus. Does anybody have any questions about Uranus? Does anybody have any questions about what I said? Yeah. And especially if you have a planet in any of those signs. So if you're Cancer and you have a planet in your house, in your first house, at 21 degrees and 15 minutes to 29 degrees and 20 and 15 minutes, then it's part of the conversation with Uranus. Okay? Same thing with Pisces, same thing with Leo, same thing with all of you. Okay? If there is a planet in your first house that has 21 between 21 degrees and 29 degrees and 15 minutes, then it is also part of the conversation. Okay? And I think that's all. I am really good when I do some Virgo. Some Virgo. Not all Virgo, but some Virgo. Okay, you guys got quiet again. Can you guys give me hearts? Can you guys tap the screen? Can you guys say something? Because like my lives do really well, and then all of a sudden y'all stop and it stops going out. Good job. You got through it and can now clip it. Thank you. You're talking about edit it. uh, it's that 10-second lag. It's a bit disconcerting. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, until YouTube does a better job, then I won't have to go through a third party to get what I want. So there's going to be a lag. Last night we didn't help you get through it. No. Get through what? Oh, was it the no, it wasn't Uranus. Get through what? I guess I don't understand. Sorry, I'm looking here. I'll figure out a way to make this work. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't tell you guys I got the second camera, so uh, I'll be able to. This is what I'm going to do in the membership is have the camera where you can see my hands in the tarot cards when I do tarot, and you can see me as well. So two cameras. Uranus. We got sidetracked on herbs and such. Oh yeah, that was the night before. Last night we did the hypnosis. Yeah. Yeah, well no, I'm kind of glad because honestly, the way they were talking the other day, the conversation wasn't finished with Uranus, so it's better today than it was on the night. That makes sense. Yeah. Sometimes, well, most times, I just kind of know that this group we can have a plan, but if that doesn't work, it just doesn't work. It's we got to leave it open, right? So, but I'm glad. Anybody else have any questions? Any comments? If not, I am going to get going. When you have rising in Cancer. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. Uh-huh. Some topics in astrology get complicated. Taking on Pluto and Uranus are both difficult and subtle club on the head. Yeah, they can be. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's why. So now that I'm doing, if I can continue to do the Monday through Friday, right? I'm trying to figure out a way to just do the series on the live, right? Um, Reset the Vega. Yeah, I did that. And because I want to do, so like I'm going through the houses with Pluto in the Pluto series, I want to do that with Jupiter. I want to do that with Uranus. I want to do that with Chiron. I want to do that with Neptune. I want to do that with each of these planets, right? Because there's a method to my madness. I know that there's a lot of that on YouTube. I want you to get my perspective, first of all. And then, secondly, um, I'm exploring a new way. Chance and I talked about this. Chance and um, Polly and I talked about this of a bigger understanding of astrology, right? And it's newer, and I'm studying it right now, but there isn't a lot of information on it because it's new. But I want to bring that eventually to this, yeah, to this group, right? So Uranus moons. What does that mean? Uranus moons. I wish each of you here great joy, happiness, peace, and great love, right? Yeah, I do too. So listen, one more thing before I go. I had told you guys that I asked you to give me some feedback about if we wanted to do something on Halloween. It's not going to be on Halloween, obviously, because I have my grandson and he comes first. I love you guys, but it's his Halloween. He's little bitty. Anyway, either that weekend or the weekend before or a couple days before, it won't be on Halloween. But I thought we could all get together on my Discord and watch a movie. And I'm thinking, actually, I've already thought about it, that I want to do. So I'm going to post on my community tab. You guys are welcome to give me some suggestions about movies, and then I'll poll it and see what we want to watch, right? But in the meantime, what we're going to do is if you join, you have to be subscribed to me to be able to enter this contest. We're going to have a costume contest. It's not going to be anything. You can do whatever you want. I want you to be as creative or not as creative, whatever. I'm not very creative. I mean, I'm Gen X. We had masks. That's what we did, right? So, anyway, costume contest. we're going to vote that night. There's going to be 3 prizes. And I think y'all will really like the prizes, but let's talk about the movies first. But the cost, so I'm telling everybody now, if you want to join the contest, you're really going to like the prizes. Trust me, you're really going to like the prizes. So, like, I think one of them is coffee time with me. Another is a set of herbs. We're just going to have prizes. We're going to have things to do. We're going to watch the movie. We're going to have some fun, right? So, um, please let me know. I will put on my community tab and just say, here's where I want you guys to give me some feedback about what movie we want to watch. And then, as it gets closer, I'll give you guys the Discord link and you guys can go into Discord and we'll all get to watch the movie there. I would love to do it on YouTube, but they don't allow that stuff. So we have to do it on Discord, right? But the great thing is I want us to all have fun. I want us to all lighten up. I remember I said old souls know how to play. They know how to have fun. They know how to live life, which is where we're at. We all decided to live life again, right? So, and not just the bare minimum, right? And so I would love for everybody to participate. And for that reason, I'm giving really good prizes. Okay. So, um, just look for that tomorrow. I think I'll write it out in the community tab. For those of you that don't know how to get to my community tab, all you do is you go to my channel and then you look on that top part where it says like videos, lives, things like that. And then you just scroll over and it'll say community and you click that and it'll take you to the community tab. And right there is where I write things down for you guys, like if I'm not going to be here or if something's up or blah, blah, blah. That's where I communicate with you guys. Okay. So go to my community tab tomorrow. Some of you automatically, the algorithm will give it to you, but because it's like wording, the algorithm's really slow. So sometimes you don't get it for like 2 or 3 days. So that's why I'm letting you know. Go to the community tab, which all that's about to change because YouTube has devised a different way. We just got word about it a couple weeks ago, and I'm getting notices on my email about it now. So that's all going to change. But for right now, that's where we communicate on the community tab. Okay. No, anybody else? Nope. Yeah, I'm not either. Sounds exciting. Effect of Uranus are weaker or stronger as Uranus moon moves over. Oh, it's it's going to feel stronger chance because it's your perspective. So you may be thinking about how Uranus is doing this to you in this particular house, but all of a sudden you're like, no, it's that. Like you'll have a really strong opinion when it moves over. Okay. Whether that's whatever that opinion was, it just gets stronger when the moon moves over it. That makes sense? Okay. Tina, Kathy. Did I say hi to Tina and Kathy? I think I said hi to you guys, right? So, all right, that was my last one. I wrote everything down. Um, I will be working all weekend. So I will not see you guys until Monday. Have a great weekend. Look at my community tab tomorrow. We'll have all of that in there. I love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much for joining me for the first week. I'm so happy. Thank you for joining every night, each and every one of you, taking the time to like come and see me and listen to me babble. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.